Welcome back to Legend of Mana. So, this part will be dedicated a bit to the pirate versus dudbear story arc, but in the end, first let's deal with another quest, not tied to that story arc, but that happens in the same scenario, like in the same dungeon piece of the world, specifically in the White Forest, the one where we actually ventured. For the white dragon that Sierra was protecting.
So are you like multitasking then in that regard?
Not really. I'm just completing a quest that happens here first, and then I'm doing another one that happens still in the same place.
Oh, that's right. You can't complete one side quest over the.
Again, I can do it, but you know, it will.
I thought you were gonna.
Anyway,
I thought you were gonna say this part is dedicated to the brave pirates who gave their lives. Like that's.
Oh, I listen up to a special day. In case you want to repeat or remember your skip it with these poses.
All right.
I'm not Mr. Fuddy Duddy.
Fuddy Duddy.
My name is Solody.
I'm calling you Mr. Fuddy.
I would like you to catch VVPs. VVPs are most rare, and the bourgeois madame is crazy for them for some reason. I don't know.
Uh-huh. Right.
What are these?
They're small, pink, and round. There's a pea-eater bird nest on their heads.
Really?
Biology.
So, like, what the heck is that, huh?
The mana goddess makes some strange things, like the plot of this game.
Wait.
She must have a sense of humor.
There's a mana goddess, of course.
Actually,
how much you gonna pay for him, huh?
Actually, she was mentioned multiple times.
I know. Well, Tio,
They shall
I know.
purchase them for 1,000 Wooker each.
I know.
No, then why did you ask?
I didn't ask. I just said it in about, realization and memorization.
It's hard to tell.
How many do we have to catch to pay our debt?
Just $10 as many as you can get.
Duh.
Dun, dun, dun. The one who brings the monster will be an executive of a Christie group.
Did we get to meet this
what happens to the loser?
Yes, so we're actually gonna meet her in when we actually entered the town of Geo.
Nice.
We'll meet these two before if we actually enter the town of Geo and explore her palace. I'm just skipping ahead a bit in this.
And if you lose, you will be fired.
You should just go gather some pebbles or something.
So, is this
Captain
mana
Ruby.
goddess connected to the mana tree, perchance?
Yes, obviously.
Are you saying I'm dumb?
She was the one who's... Oh, I need humanity. Anyway, here's an interesting thing. You should search for EPs too. You get 1,000 Wooker each. However...
Wait, what?
However, if you remember the quest in the jungle, he said something quite different.
It's
Well,
right.
so EP, just one will fetch 100,000 Wooker.
Oh,
He's trying to skimp out on us.
It's cutting costs.
Yeah.
Like, that's a very charming person.
that's quite a drop.
Yeah, what a nice guy. He reduced the price by times 100.
Anyway, this quest is gonna be about essentially finding the Lillipes itself. If I don't remember, it's the small creature that actually helped us in the jungle to actually go catch the Ducate monster thing. So essentially, this is supposedly where it lives, and we'll actually see also the result of this that happened to the Lillipes, to our character, and to Skippy and Ops, because this is essentially ties also their subplot. But yeah, also to answer your question, Jova, yeah, there is the mana goddess tied to the mana tree. It's usually a common staple in all the mana games. If there's a mana tree, there is like a mana goddess tied to it. But here it was just she was just the one that was asking at the beginning those questions like, "I need humanity. Please walk with me again and give me your love."
So this mana goddess is apparently willing to hire and pay people to do her dirty work.
Not just, no, actually, No, she's not the one. No. When Sowerby was referring to that, he was saying it's the classic phrase, "The lore works in mysterious way." The mana goddess is actually worshipped like that. The owner of Skipping Off the Sowerby. The one is called Christie, as he mentioned, the Christie group, which will meet in the town of Geo as well. And this is, if you don't remember, it's the priest that lives in the Church of Domina. For some reason, we decided to bring him back for this particular side quest, because apparently he has a fascination with the Lillipes and their supposed culture. So obviously, he's gonna help us actually find the Lillipede, because at its core, we don't really want to catch it for that person. Am I right?
Right.
However, we also have to deal with, obviously, Skippy Hobbs and Skippy Hobbs trying to catch the Lillipede for myself, so that means kind of jumping from one screen to the other. It's not a question of doing backtracking this one, it's a bit more...
Maze-like?
No, not even. If it was, I would have sped up even more. It's actually relatively linear when it comes to its structure. It's actually relatively simple. The problem is that some screens have, like, as you may see, multiple encounters. Thankfully, again, due to the combat being relatively easy and my using my choice of weapon, the best weapon for my choice of weapon, things get dispatched relatively quick.
Nice. Oh, a barrel. What the?
Hello. Okay, thanks.
Careful.
Okay. Oh, looked like a premature
random.
execute.
Moving on.
Yeah, you don't have to actually to follow the Lillipede, because otherwise you'll be led astray from where you actually are supposed to go. But yeah, that's essential. What is a bit of a shame for me is for this particular side quest is that it ends a bit abruptly the story arc of Skippy and Hobbs. After this, you see them again or be important ones. So having only 2 side quests dedicated to them is a bit of a downplay. I would have rather swapped some of the later endgame side quests for one more dedicated to them, trying to hunting down stuff, especially because they seem to be a standard source of comedy.
Yeah, I just
something.
wish that we got to see more of them, but I guess they get the job done for what they are.
Oh, I guess again, it's a thing of having potential and trying to use it. Not.
I can definitely imagine that, what would have been successful would have gotten its own game or series or spin-off or whatever.
Surprisingly, no. Like, so it's funny you mentioned Bojova. The characters kind of make a joke about it at the end of this quest. But no, surprisingly no, Jova. After this, the Mana franchise turned into a different route. It spawned, I think, a couple of games on the PS2, but after that, mostly on the Nintendo DS.
Was the reception to this game not the best?
No, actually, it was, if I recall correctly, it was okay. Let me check the official data. But you have to remind, it was localized only in America, so it didn't have a bigger audience to, check back to.
Oh, was this when Square were starting to get into that stupid phase of trying to set astronomically high expectations in order for a game series to
remember,
move?
at this point, remember, this was right after Seiken Densetsu 3, the third Mana game, which was not localized at all. It was clear that Square was not putting a lot of faith into this franchise at the moment.
So, now this is starting to make a lot more sense. They didn't have a lot of faith in this franchise, so this was their way of trying to jazz things up, try and make it the most open.
Remember the presentation. The presentation was drastically changed for this game compared to the previous Mana games, in order to get a bigger, appearance with both visual and thanks to Yoko Shimomura's soundtrack. And it did this job from what it did. Remember, this is what launched Shimomura into a bigger project. So despite they're still working previously on the Mario RPG and Live Alive. Anyway, the official reception, blah blah blah. In Japan, Legend of Mana was a bestseller at the time of release and sold over 400,000 units in its first week alone, as the highest-selling release that week in Japan. By the end of the year, it had sold 700,000 copies in Japan. Legend of Mana was also the top-selling PlayStation game during the week of its release in North America. The reviews were mixed. The game presentation was more universally praised, especially its use of vibrant and colorful hand-drawn graphics. Someone from IGN claiming the graphics were one of the game's best points. Someone else from RPG Gamer said that the visual may be the most impressive, blah blah blah. People were in it. Much of the game criticism stemmed from its substitution of mostly unrelated quests over a main storyline. Game
Wow.
praising the land make system, the one where you put the scenario, the artifacts, found that the focus of Legend of Mana is obscured by the overabundance of subplots. Similarly, Game Revolutions, another person, commented that the games lacked depth and felt like a collection of short quests in a single game, while someone from GameSpot noted that the game used a mini-quest will likely disappoint who is seeking an action RPG classic, and said that although fun, the gameplay had a schizophrenic and disjointed nature. Next Generation agreed, saying that the land make system was an innovative feature, but it left the game disjointed without a solid plot to keep everything together. The Japanese Weekly Famitsu reviewers felt that the system was ambitious, but led the game feeling disconnected, and that the divided plot lines kept the beginning of the game from having the charm. Yes, Famitsu actually had a negative opinion on something, I know.
What? I wasn't aware that. I didn't even know Famitsu was allowed to have negative opinions.
Oh, you'd be surprised, Pedro. Famitsu actually had...
Don't be stranger too much, Pedro, because we still gave the game a 31 out of 40.
Oh, of course.
That's low by Famitsu standards.
Yes.
See, here's the thing about Famitsu. If you want to judge the reviews, judge what they put in text because they score incredibly generously because I guess they consider, oh, just because it's disappointing doesn't mean we should give it a low score.
I'm very interested to seeing how their score system works. Like, what is fucking terrible to them?
Yeah.
Let's see. Well, apparently they did not like the Final Fantasy 13. Which one of those
Actually,
games?
no,
Actually,
Joel,
they
remember, the first one got, I think it was a 40 out of 40. I'll need to check.
I think it may have been Lightning Returns that they stuck their noses up at.
I reckon it'll be the likes of Bomberman X Zero. They'll probably go.
Based on what they said in their review, if I were them, I probably would have gone middle ground or something and maybe a little bit lower. You know, like 19 or something. 34?
39 out of
39.
40. Yeah, 39 out of 40 for Final Fantasy 13. Let me check the sequels, what we got as well. 13-2 got a 40 out of 40.
Okay, definitely not that. Well, I guess to be fair, 13-2 did improve stuff, so by their standards, I guess that makes it amazing.
And Lightning Returns a 37 out of 40. These are your official. Oh, there you go. This is actually the end of the quest.
Oh.
Get the whole bunch now. Not the exact before you know it.
Well,
So let me
Sword, I
guess.
just say that this is the end of Skippy and Obs on what we do.
So let me guess, we have to fight them and stop them from getting them.
Essentially we're just fed up and we're just gonna, escape in refuge somewhere else.
Wait, why do they have to be in refuge?
We ain't alike,
Because
we're alike.
remember, they're in this situation because they have a huge money debt because of things they have crushed because they're incompetent.
So will we get to see how they deal with the chase in later cutscenes, or is this the last we see of them for a while?
Unfortunately, no. Like, Skippy can appear, surprisingly enough, if you have Chocobo Racing, save data on the memory card. He appears, there you go, you get the title, whatever. He can appear in Polpota Harbor and give you a special accessory that increases your speed, but that's pretty much it. This game actually has a surprising... Yeah, this game actually has a surprise amount of bonus content if you have save data from other Square Enix games.
So basically, they're considering what it would be like if they had their own stories or whatnot.
Yeah, it's kind of what Yokai Watch is doing nowadays, but it was just a poor attempt here.
I'll just say
I still appreciate the effort for the idea, but just.
I like the idea, but I've seen a lot of other bouts of media that have done the whole, what would it be like if we had our own thing better? Like, even the during credit scene of Box Trolls where two characters talk about the making of a movie in the fourth wall sense.
Anyway.
Isn't it Skippy?
And there. Unfortunately, the quest is not over because we need to resolve the situation with the Lily P.
We
Lily
do?
P village.
Oh, because they may be targeted by the society group?
No, not necessarily in a sense that we have discovered the LDP's colony. There you go.
Okay.
And since we helped them in the past and they help us, they just grant us passage. There we go.
Nice. Who's that burglar over there?
Remember, it's the priest from
Oh.
Domina. Might as well you be, Jova. Go ahead.
He says when he closes his eyes, he sees a green vice.
Weekly, whatever the hell that means.
I always thought the lily peas were only a legend.
Yeah.
Nephions once researched them, but he was the only one to do so.
Remember, the professor
Yeah.
tried to use fireworks.
It is said that they are descendants of Anuel's dolls. With Clay and Fred, they crafted more of their own kind. Wait, so dolls somehow came to life and crafted themselves? Interesting.
Just about. Apparently, it's only folklore, so you have to take it for what it's worth.
These look like
And
Kirby
that's
eggs.
their leader, the one with the actual bird on the nest.
Oh. Hi.
This will prompt the priest
yes.
to move. There you go.
It
and
seems-
to.
God.
Good. Oh, good.
It seems that this one is the village leader. Oh, yes. What? On the mountain to the north?
The
Mhm.
the man who whispered to Lily Peas.
Near the lake.
Essentially, guys, you pretty much know already this
Somewhere
song.
in the forest?
The quest is almost over, so you know what do we mean? We need now.
The Fountain of Youth?
No.
Something wonderful.
Well, how do you know?
Apparently, this priest is a shitty translator when it
A
comes to
terrible
Lily Peas.
monster.
I
Yeah,
know
so-
it.
Well, senor, how do you know this is the true fountain of
Now,
youth?
every time I went, for some reason I'm imagining him
Oh.
talking like the adults doing the Peanuts series.
Stay
Wah,
away.
wah, 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 wah.
Oh, we have a boss coming, don't we? Why not
Again,
have
Java,
a
we're at
look?
the end. We have the end of the quest, so we need the boss.
Go kill it.
Yes,
Wow,
the
you'll have
elder
a...
Lily Peas is condemning violence.
Oh, he says there is a monster in the forest and he wants you to kill it.
We get it. Jesus, man.
Wah.
He
this
says he
game
will
repeat-
guide you.
Christ, this game is almost as bad at repeating things as Danganronpa.
A great
Which
reward.
one?
Yeah,
best
the
one.
series as in general. You understand us, do you not? Yeah.
You see, guys, this person dying is a bad thing. Did I mention it's a bad thing? It's like, imagine that over and over.
Question.
Yes,
You know what?
go ahead.
Never mind.
Especially because this boss has no real relevance. Again, it's one of those. We need the boss at the end. It's a power swap of the Mantis, the first Mantis boss.
Yeah, what the Elder just said about the Lily P. leader,
Yeah.
you know, so what particularly is the point of the Lily Peas in this case? I mean, is it to show that they look peaceful, but they can be violent?
Potentially, like, remember, the quest was about, remember, at first it was said that the Lily Peas were incredibly rare creature, but here it's just a case of them wanting to protect their territory, so not appearing almost at all to strangers. But of course, the protagonist was this special snowflake, so they allowed him to.
Kind of a missed opportunity that the gruesome twosome doesn't aid us in this quest, you know, so they do something.
Well, senor, how do you know this is the true fountain of youth? Do I look stupid? It says youth right on it. That's because it's the youth fountain, right next to the adult fountain. Oh,
Oh! a
Also,
Ew.
yes, Jova?
So it's a beetle who can spawn other beetles.
More like a Mantis, Jova. Remember, those psychics are similar to the Mantis.
Yeah, but mantises don't normally
And there we
fly
go.
like that. And he explodes into
Explosion.
pieces!
Okay. It's also kind of a mythology gag because the first boss of Secret of Mana, which is a Mantis, is notoriously infamous for enraging all players because of being very backward in terms of how you're supposed to defeat it.
Oh boy. The Elder is very thankful for all you have done.
Yay, we slaughtered life! Well, whatever. At this point of the game, it's pretty much.
We've slaughtered a lot of people throughout this, let's be.
And we conclude with Sober
Yeah.
basically chatting. I must be looking around for every last weary. And that's it. He's still gonna wait them, I
Yep.
guess.
And thus they got lost in the forest and starved to death. The end.
Yeah.
Da-da-da-da.
Wow.
That's the best assumption I can think of.
Oh.
They were looking for
dear.
them and they got lost and they didn't bring any food with them because I didn't see any satchels.
No, Soverby, we're gonna see again Soverby when we'll get to Geo, and also his mistress, the one who is at the air service.
Who owns the manor, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
So his mistress is
I
also
think
the
it's
owner
gonna
of the
be
manor.
in like 2 or 3 parts from now. Essentially, in Geo there is a separate manor, separate from the Academy of Magic, that is owned by this woman, Christy, and she has also some sorts of exotic objects, and this is gonna tie into the Drumi story arc.
I swear to God, if the summary of this is just pwa pwa pwa, that Cactus Kid is trolling.
Nah, don't worry. Let's see.
Alright.
Let's see what little Cactus actually had to learn from this.
Bibs?
I wonder how the lily pea sings song about bees. Bees, bees, I'm a tiny beanie pea. Bees, bees, I'm a itsy bitsy bee. This could be a never-ending song.
You were close, Jova, but no cigar.
Okay.
How was my high-pitched singing?
Don't worry,
Yeah,
it was just
fine.
fun. Reminds me of that episode of Chowder where Chowder starts singing out of nowhere about beans, so they literally had to ask one of the characters to, bring in the next scene from the fourth wall. Chowder is amazing with his fourth wall humor. Go see
It
it.
reminds
It
me
is.
That reminds me of how in one of the Monty Python sketches, basically there was a sketch of a bunch of gangsters breaking into an army general's office, but then the army general just stops the sketch saying it's not funny,
Okay.
and
Anyway.
then one of the actors said, "Is that because you couldn't think of a punchline?"
Do you even fourth wall?
Yeah.
So,
Anyway, this quest is ties back again to the war between the pirates and the miners, dudbears, but it will also intertwine with another of the story arc, like minor story arc.
so regarding its execution, Tio, would you say it's one of the better handled plots involving a war that's a subplot, or is it...
It's
Run of
just
the mill.
okay, but you have to remember, Jova, that I didn't have problems with a lot of things that actually instead ticked you. So
Oh, no.
I guess my judgment on some things of this game may. Oh god.
I'm just wondering, Mako, what's your thought on the overall execution of, a war plot
Hello,
here?
Lord Burzum.
Essentially, the Dudbears took over the church, so might as well roll with it.
Wait, are we supposed to side with the Dudbears, or... whatever.
Anyway, let's see what these leaders say. I now declare this page the above ground chapter of the Diggers. Dig a dig. We took over this abandoned building to put... Yeah, because... since
Abandoned?
the priest,
Because the priest
remember,
left.
the priest is now in the Lily P village, so now... There you go.
Wait.
Remember for an expedition to the White Forest.
So the priest just abandoned his life in this town and left the church to know what to take care of?
Apparently, salvation for labor.
You know what, guys? Just have the church. I mean, if the only person who's taking care of it apparently will just pack his bags and leave to be with a bunch of lily peas, you can have it.
It's not like what he was doing much to begin with, Jova. If you don't remember, he was just there to dump some small tidbits of lore at the beginning of the game, and that was literally it.
Like, heck, I mean, even the priest in Brave Fencer Mishashi, at least he heals you.
No such luck here.
Oh, well.
Anyway, let's
Wow,
see how
that's
Capella...
interesting.
Since Capella and Diddle moved here, let's see how they check out. It's you,
Oops.
by the way, if you don't forget.
Capella, I really don't care to live
Oh,
anymore.
Diddle, we
Again?
already went on this. Come on.
Right.
Stop saying that. Or the shadows take you again.
Oh, I hope not. I don't like the shadows. I like having fun, but fun doesn't last forever.
I don't.
After it's gone, I feel empty. Like I don't exist anymore.
That's what That's what the
Typo,
shadows
I guess.
want.
Oh, come on. I'd be boring to have fun all the time.
Wait, what?
Feel whatever you feel, like sadness and loneliness.
Having fun is boring.
No, the message
I
is
know,
trying to
but
say
what I
is
really
that...
want to feel is that
the message is trying to say is that if you will feel fun constantly at the same time, you will eventually go bore out of it. Well, I am happy. I'm not thinking about anything difficult like you are, so stop asking questions.
Stop asking questions and enjoy the show.
all I want to do is to be able to help someone.
So why don't you just go help someone?
And to make that someone happy. That's all I want.
You totally don't count. Oh.
Unfortunately, the dudbears decided to step the scene and they kidnapped Diddle. Oh no, Diddle.
Again? Well, you know, honestly, isn't this kind of a lesser problem than Diddle being taken to the underworld?
Diddle, you're gone again. Oh, they're taking even his stuff.
You're gonna chase... Oh, good, he actually chases after them. Wait, how did he go past us?
Well, he just did, so let's see how they
Swam
handle
across.
Now we just need to get to the forest because the priest mentioned that we need to go there. So that's your hint of where to go next.
Wait, the priest mentioned they need to go
So,
there?
sorry, not the priest, the Dalsim lookalike, the guy who
okay,
won the
yeah.
dudbears.
Alright.
There we go. This quest is actually relatively short, because you don't have to go through the whole dungeon again.
I can
Just need to get to a
imagine.
certain point, you trigger a cutscene, fight a boss, and that's it. Don't worry,
There we go.
It's not like...
That
hello?
dudbear just
Hello.
fainted.
We just barely
What?
touched it.
Wait,
What
what?
the fuck?
Wait, what? What happened?
Remember
we
the
taken
dudbear?
over the dudbear.
No, hold on. Remember, the dudbears are also the one who control the fast transportation in the mine, so they're perfectly capable of handling us. So what we need to do is actually to knock them out and actually, there you go,
So we
and
have...
actually go. Essentially, it's similar to a stealth mission in a sense, but you just need to knock the guards out and then proceed.
So, essentially, that dudbear fell down, got up, and then transported us to the forest. So basically, if you don't knock those dudbears out, you're booted back to the beginning of the stage.
Yeah, but only one screen, so you're not punished heavily.
Okay.
There we go.
Still, though, how random.
Not just that, it's also like a warm-up because a later side quest which involve more directly the war between the pirates and the miners will actually have you to do the exact same thing but on an invisible time limit.
Oh, joy.
Yeah, trust me, Joe, it's one of the moments of the game that I actually really hate as well. So
Again,
you'll not
again,
find it.
Again, like I said, this game is just too random for its own good. It's like, it should have picked a few things, or at least been upfront and just have this be a daily slice of life thing where you're doing all this stuff instead of trying to ram 3 main plots into it.
Again, you can watch demonstrate that you can handle, JRPG mechanics and combat despite using the slice of life meaning.
Well,
So-
the difference is that Yokai Watch. Okay, while those were separate episodes, they were still something that was all part of the main plot. Whereas again, with this game, we have 3 different main plots running parallel to one another, to the point where,
And I would like
again,
to add
if
as
there had
well.
just been one main one, it'd have been fine.
And I
Yes,
would like to
Pedro?
add as well that even before all that, the Mother series is already doing this better.
Eh.
I would like to bring that up as well. Slice of life thing.
Oh, well, I mean, to be fair, quite a few RPGs and JRPGs do slice of life thing, because, well, again, that's side quest, essentially.
Also, Mother is more like extravaganza introduced into an urban department. but rather than having the traditional slice of life thing, is essentially seeing how the world, the suburban world, actually behaves in response to this. It's pretty much a diet version of a Shin Megami Tensei plot.
And I guess I'll be kind of honest. I'll admit I'm kind of a bit bored with Mother the Game series. I mean, don't get me wrong.
Hold on.
Oh,
Listen up. Keep digging until there's nothing left.
dig a tunnel, dig a tunnel.
When it's done, we dig another
Make
tunnel.
everything into one big hole.
Toby
Run
Fox.
before the hyenas come.
Sir Diddle can make any monster fall asleep with his organs.
Sir Diddle.
Ken?
Go ahead, Dibs.
Fuck yes!
Let me guess. This is what makes Diddle find that he can make other people happy.
Pretty much.
Language, by the way.
Diddle,
Hey,
are
Diddle,
you alright?
Capella? What did you come here for? Why do I sound like the other guy earlier?
I don't know. You're supposed to
Can't
sound
look
like
before you,
Eeyore.
Diddle. You're not hurt.
Or once.
No, I'm not hurt. I'm only helping these people here, which is why they kidnapped me.
Who are you helping out?
My
They don't know how
kidnappers.
to thank people, clearly.
Yeah.
The diggers.
What? Don't you know what real bad is?
Eh.
Also, anime reaction. Who goes there? Oh no, he saw me.
They are not bad people, Capella.
That is true. No one is really bad in this world.
Ah, goody. A take on the gray morality.
Sometimes when people do goes against what they believe, tell that to Weinstein. Isn't that so, Sir Diddle?
Or Spacey.
Yeah, or any very important person by the time of his commentary.
See, Capella? He is a nice person.
He's just pretending to be a nice person, merely pretending. Oh, go ahead, Luke. I played this part. I think.
Hey, you wanker!
What's the matter?
I want to become a hero.
Essentially, we're telling what I've been doing.
This motherfucker came here and started whacking us on the head. It fucking hurts.
Trust me, again, I took some
These
liberties, but
dudbears
it's
are really rude.
Again, the language can't be dispersed. A monster came to attack.
Yes, a
A
monster.
monster. Dudbears and Sir Diddle and the monkey bear.
Eh.
Dudbears!
My name is Capella.
Oh, so Capella's a monkey.
Alright, whatever. You guys take care of it. It's the classic stereotype job of a monkey that dances to the organ.
Oh, I get that.
You're
It's just
leaving
like,
us here to
well,
find the monster?
eh.
Of course, translation, I need to take care of it.
We should all get out of here.
But Diddle, aren't they supposedly nice people? Wait, what? Wait, what? Oh, right, a boss. A boss.
Yeah, we didn't need it apparently. It's not even a very important one if I recall. Yeah, it's just a random demon that appears out of nowhere.
Okay.
Okay, can you stop now?
Wow, that was a weird introduction.
Awkward.
Let's fight.
Yeah, again, and by fight, I mean, you mean stun locking it to death.
With no
But yeah,
weaknesses, his team
off.
wins.
But yeah, if I recall correctly, this is also the last one that involves Capella and Diddle, essentially. You're gonna see
Really?
them again from time to time if you visit the cities and everything, but we're not gonna have any major other quests involved.
Huh. You know, this feels weird. In that case, shouldn't the one where Diddle is in the underworld have been the finale side quest about them, since when you think about it, the
Yeah.
stakes are the biggest there?
Yeah, it should have been like that, but it's pretty clear about the order that the game pays them anyway. But hey, look, Diddle, they all ran away for some reason.
I guess they're really that scared of the monster.
Either that or they went to jump over the moon.
Oh, yeah.
See, you were being tricked into this.
Uh-huh.
Because they ran away from a monster, that means he was being tricked.
But it was fun.
Okay.
I'm glad you had fun.
Oh, jeez, Diddle.
Oh yeah, did we forget that kid who actually helped us? Oh, I guess we did.
That's it.
That's it. Very good.
Yeah.
Story
don't
arc
really
complete.
Also, in order to in order to kind of give some empathy to what Joe was saying in some parts where he couldn't understand the anatomy of the characters, I really don't understand how Diddle actually looks like. You always see him in these contraption that kind of moves. It's similar to like a wheelchair that has the gramophone attached to it, but his real shape is weird.
The weird thing about this game is that, again, mostly even on an older game, I can at least get an idea of what the character is or whatnot, but here, I just have a hard time telling both their gender and, heck, even their species, apparently.
Did you just assume their gender, Jova?
He doesn't know to assume. That's his problem.
Well, I'm against assuming.
Assume makes an ass out of you and me.
Precisely.
Anyway, to answer also what you were saying before, Jova, about the future of the series, there was Rise of Mana on more recently on iOS, Android, and PlayStation Vita, but previously there were only like 3 major titles. Children of Mana for the Nintendo DS, Dawn of Mana for the PlayStation 2, and Heroes of Mana for also the Nintendo DS.
How were they?
More recently, they were relatively mostly okay. The reviews were mostly...
Wait, Diddle's a boy?
Yeah, remember boy named Diddle was
Yeah.
kidnapped. Diddle had a friend named Capella who found him. Wish I could be somebody's help.
So Diddle's a
Yeah,
boy.
Foreshadowing.
So Diddle's a boy. Capella's sent it to be a grown-up, and...
Monkey. Yeah, just ignore these and let me finish by saying the reception has always been okay, but more tending to positive. The
Fair.
problem is that they didn't sold always a lot. So it was one of those franchises that the Square Enix of the previous CEO just pretty much ignored and only gave that mobile game that I mentioned before, Rise of Mana. It was with the new CEO that actually first remade the very first game and made it into Adventures of Mana, and now they're remaking Secret of Mana as well. So now the series have a bit more growing. It seems to be going in a specific direction now. So at least there's that. Anyway, in the next part, I think we continue the Pirates versus Dudbears story arc. See ya.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.